Hi there, it's Becky Ringler, and I am here to tell you about Christmas idea number 4. Numbers 2 and 3 I didn't make a video for. You can see them on my blog, proactivelifeblog.com, but this one I felt really did require a video of sorts. This is for a Japanese spare toilet roll paper holder, toilet paper roll holder, however you say it. So you can make these in a really simple way. If you go to my blog, you can actually see photos of them hanging. But I want to give you some step-by-step instructions. One of the things that's really cool about this is that you can, even without a sewing machine, make these. You might have to have a needle and thread, but it shouldn't be too involved if you do it the way I'm going to share it with you. So what I like to do, since I don't have a sewing machine currently, is to, I personally go to consignment stores and I look for either really neat pattern pairs of pants, long blouses with sleeves that are kind of the same length, or I look for spare material. In this case, this time I found these are, not hard to see, this is material for curtain like valances, and I got these at the consignment store for like, I don't know, I think $2 for 4 of these, and they're in beautiful, perfect condition, and they're perfect to use, and I'll tell you why. If you use, for instance, and I just have a dress here, this was my mother's dress from the 60s. Woo! I'm not using this for a toilet roll paper holder, I'm just using it for example purposes because I actually love this dress. It's a really cool kind of retro dress. But if you use the sleeve, for instance, from something like this, you can actually, you'll notice that the sides are already sewn for you, the same thing with a pair of pants, so you don't have to do any side seaming. All you have to do is sew the seam at the top. So if you take a toilet paper roll, I make sure it's full and the biggest size that the person would use. If they're not using the jumbo size, measure it to whatever size toilet paper that they usually use. We tend to buy the big jumbo rolls, so I always measure mine with something like this. So what you want, obviously, is if you're using pants or a sleeve, you want it to be as wide as the toilet roll. So luckily this is really pretty much a perfect size. And then you go and you'd roll it, if you were making this, you'd roll it up to the top of the sleeve. You see that it actually fits really well, and see this is how it's going to hold. And in this particular case, if I were using a sleeve or a pant like this, I would of course cut it off at the top, and then I would just, with a needle and thread, or if you have a sewing machine, you can sew it at the top, leaving a little bit to put a ribbon through, because that's what you're going to use to tie it to the edges of the where the actual regular toilet paper is held on the holder. Okay, but if you are not using something like this, say you're using material like I am with these valances, you'll notice obviously that one end is finished, which is perfect. I want this beautiful finished end. There's another end that I am going to have to finish myself, but how to measure it, because this material is obviously really wide, is you put this in here, and if you'll notice, in this particular case, this doesn't, I'm not going to be able to sew the top. It would be such a tight fit, it wouldn't make any sense. It doesn't really matter. What I'm going to do is I'm going to measure it and cut it. It's hard to see here. I'll kind of do it like this. So if you can see how wide the toilet paper roll is here, you want to cut it maybe so that it's maybe an inch or so extra, because once you cut it, you're going to fold that over and you're going to make a nice seam to make it finished on that side, either with a sewing machine or by hand. Making sure at the top, now in this particular case, because this happens to be a valance, there's already a place for the ribbon here. So I want to make sure when I cut this and I sew this that I keep this side open, I don't sew it closed, because I want the ribbon to go through. And the same thing luckily on the other side, because again this is a valance, so there's already a roll. So when I cut this and I am making a seam, I'm going to make sure to keep this open so that I can put a ribbon in through here. And let me show you, I do have one that I finished already. So here it is. What I had done, you can see this was the finished end already that was just there. And then I finished this side myself by hand, as you can see behind. It took a little time when you're doing it by hand, but I don't have a sewing machine, so there we go. Labor of love. And then At the top, when I slid the ribbons through, I actually sewed the ribbons in at the end so they don't slide out, because you don't want them sliding around when people are trying to fasten this to their toilet paper roll holder. So basically you're going to take this, whether you sew it at the top or whether it's open like it is in this case, and you're just going to tie these around the toilet roll paper holder in the bathroom. It'll sit below the actual toilet paper that's already sitting there on the roll, and so when you need a spare roll you can just grab one and it looks really pretty. So I just wanted to share that with you. Hopefully that helps, and I hope you have fun making them. Okay, bye!